Hey guys, I'm not doing a full reaction to this, but I just wanted to play like a little bit of this and just kind of draw your attention to Ginger Gaming Mentor's video about CTC and charges in Diablo 2. He is bang on for his assessment of which things are pretty useless, when it comes to CTC and charges. For the most part, there's a couple slight disagreements that I might have with it. For example, he said that like the dire wolves and the spirit wolves are totally useless, like on the crescent moon rune word and the wolf howl for the barbarian. However, you can do things with them, with battle orders, with shout, with enchant, with fanaticism. Like you can get enough auras and shouts on them so that they do something, actually. So they're not totally useless, but yeah, I would like to see them be a little better. But for the most part, though, if you haven't checked this video out, it's called Fixing Charges and Chance to Cast Game Rant, and it's by Ginger Gaming Mentor. And he's got a great channel. It's like, it's a lot bigger than mine. But I watched a lot of his videos over the last couple years playing Diablo 2. And here's a little tidbit that I want to share that I want to talk about. Okay, so here it is.
Needs to be like quadrupled, if not more. Hydra, completely useless, does not have any purpose whatsoever.
Yeah, he goes
Even
through
on
everything.
the Hellfire Torch, that level 30 Hydra is completely useless.
So there's another one. The level 30 Hydra on the Hellfire Torch. Okay. The reason it's useless is just because you get 10 charges and it costs so freaking much to repair. If it just gave you the skill, it would be so much better. If the Hellfire Torch just gave you level 30 Hydra, there would only be a few instances where you could try to buff it up. If you've watched my Fire Barrage Paladin, you will see that I use Hydras on that build, okay? So check that out on my channel if you want to see a Hydra. I don't even think it is level 30 on mine. No, it might be. It might be over level 30. But I pull out everything I can to make it actually deal some damage. And on players 1, it's like, it's usable, okay? So that's all I would say is that this thing can be used. You can use level 30 Hydras. But the 10 charges is BS. And if you're wondering, like, well, then you'd get a free level 30 Hydra for Sorceress. No. If the skill is native to the character, it wouldn't apply, or it would only give like the 1 skill or 3 skills or whatever, So that's kind of how that would work. And really, honestly, there should be other torch-like items in the game that have different effects. It just makes, like, I wish we could have that. But anyway, here's what he says.
Even if you have full synergies, that Hydra still is completely useless, because if you're a sorceress and you have full synergies, you're just going to cast your own Hydra.
Agree on that part.
Frozen Orb is actually useful. The Churchill Frost Flange Mace is actually well positioned.
And this is the point I want to...
I wish it had a little bit more, maybe like 100 charges. But for the most part, it's actually not bad for its level. The main issue that I find with this is that, well, and a lot of this stuff is that they don't scale with level. And this could be something that we could talk about as well. So very quickly, we've just finished going over all of the charges. Charges might be better off scaling with level. It could be an interesting thing to allow the charges to scale with level based on the character's level that you're playing on. So if I have a Churchill Frost and I'm level 99, then it would be a lot higher than level 9 charge. The only caveat here, and I would make this very clear right off the bat, is that because of synergies, scaling the charges with level would not be a good idea, because a character with synergies might get very good use out of those charges. So I would say that it scales with level, except for the actual class that has the skill. So very much similar to O skills, where O skills can give you like 20 to a skill, right? Like 20 to fireball or something like that. But when you're on the sorceress, it only gives you 3, right?
Yes. Okay. So I like that idea a lot. His idea of scaling charges to the level of the character. That's really a simple way. Plus, though, he does mention how, the number of charges is just not enough in most cases. So my idea, though, and I would like to put this out there, if you just saw my video where I had a hybrid druid. It was a long showcase. I did 4 variants of it. It's a hybrid summoner fury druid with an enchant 3 mercenary. On the first variant, I use a beast and I use a +3 to summoning skills amulet with teleport charges. And that's really cool. And now I say in the video, it would be really nice if there was a way to add an effect to a magic or rare item only that would replenish the charges on its own, kind of like repairs durability, or if there was a new quest or cube recipe that's maybe obtained from a quest whereby you could take a magic or rare item only and change the charge to an O skill. Okay? That would be excellent, I think. I think that would be better than charges, and it would continue the item hunt, okay? Because then you might find an item. Now, and I'm combining this idea with Ginger Gaming Mentor's idea of its scaling. So imagine you find an item, okay? And you would like, and it's got chain lightning charges on it, or it's got this one. Let's just use this one since it's right there. The frozen orb on the mace here, the Sure Shrill Frost Flange mace, level 9 frozen orb. Okay, so imagine you find that, and then you place that on a character that's much higher level, and then you use that character's quest, kind of like the Larzik quest, to change that to an O skill. Okay. The reason I like that idea is because it would scale with the character, right? Which means you'd have to have a high level character if you would like that to be permanently changed to an O skill from a charge, right? So just think of that for a second. You wouldn't be able to rush to the quest with a level 1 character like you do with Larzik. You wouldn't be able to do that. You'd actually have to level a character for the quest. If you'd like to use another quest like Larzik, it's a Larzik-like quest that changes the charge to an O skill. And then you could have it as an O skill on the item. To me, that sounds awesome. The item hunt would be so fantastic. Please, so think about that for a sec, guys. I love his idea that the charge should scale with the level of your character, that it shouldn't work with a character that already has the skill in their skill tree. And I also agree with what he says earlier in the video, which I really recommend everyone watch this entire video of his if you really care about D2 and any possible changes or updates that could happen one day. If you want to be in on the conversation, please put your ideas for charges in the comments. Please go watch Ginger Gaming Mentor's breakdown of all of them. He literally goes over every single charge in the game and talks about the ones that are useful, the ones that are not useful, and the ones that are just too low level or don't have enough charges, basically. So, and in most of them fit in the negative categories. Like the ones that are useful are very few. And so, one more point. one more point here. I don't think you should be able to change the unique items charges into O skills, though. And the only reason I say that is only because of Corpse Explosion on Corpsemorn and on the Black Rune Word. I just don't think that granting Corpse Explosion to every character like that would be good. But then again, I don't know. Maybe that would be okay. But my idea, just to be clear, was just it would have to be a magic, blue, or rare, yellow item. You know, and there's stuff like that in the game already. Like if you go to Charcy and you want to imbue an item, it has to be a white item. You can't just imbue anything else. It has to be a white, regular white item that you imbue to turn it into a rare. So I'm saying has to be blue, has to be rare. And I like his idea of scaling the charges to the level of the character. And then once that charge is scaled, you take it to the quest and turn it into an O skill on that item. So imagine a circlet that you find, 3 to Shadow Disciplines, level 2 teleport charges. You put it on your level 85 assassin. It's now level, I don't know, 18 or 20 teleport. And it's just the O skill. Now you don't have to wear Enigma. You don't have to. But there's still the questing, still the leveling of the characters. There's still the item hunt to find the magic or rare item that has the charge that you want. And then also, GGM also mentions how some of his ideas would be to remove certain charges and all that and just remove them entirely or move them onto boots or move them onto rings. And he didn't say this in his. I kept wanting him to say this. A belt. Belts don't have charges like ever. There's Arachnid Mesh has charges and that's it. And maybe something else that I'm forgetting. But I think they should change that too, where magic and yellow items can also roll a couple of useful charges on them for things like attract or confusion or dim vision or lower resistance or life tap. Those would be huge, right? If you could roll stuff like that on a belt, imagine if you could roll even just if you could roll charges on a belt, it would be nuts, right? It would be so good. It would compete with Arachnid Mesh for sure on many characters. It would also help off meta stuff, which if you know my stuff, that's what I'm kind of looking for. The reason I'm so passionate about this is because I've looked at a lot of the charges and stuff in the game, and there's just really no practical way to incorporate them. It's just so annoying. In the game, it's like the game wants you to use them, So anyway, that's just a quick tidbit about something that he brought up that I thought was an incredibly valuable suggestion and idea. Awesome idea by Ginger Gaming Mentor to make the charges scale with the character. I love that. And then I would love the ability to have a quest to convert magic and rare items to O skills after you've scaled it with the character. That way you can't just rush to it with a low level character and use the quest. Unless it's you don't need it to be that high level, I guess. But if you wanted to do something like Frozen Orb, Blizzard, if you wanted those skills to be high level and on a character that doesn't have them, then you could level it. I mean, Nova comes on shields and stuff. Chain Lightning, that's another thing too. I wonder about the CTC skills too, right? Could those scale? Yeah. So that's part what I have for my idea. I do have other ideas about unique charms and stuff like that. What those could do. for O skills, okay? Or for synergies and stuff like that. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. I love that he's doing this, and I'd like to be in on the conversation. You know, that's why I'm making my own video, and I hope the D2R dev. That's my joke. There's just one. I hope the D2R dev, the one guy, you know, I hope he sees our videos. All right, thanks. Bye.